Good morning, good day, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're viewing this program from. I want to welcome you to another broadcast of The Competitive Edge. In the event that you're joining us for the first time and you want to know what is the competitive edge, the focus of the competitive edge is mainly to target businesses, but also to target the average person who wants to achieve more in life. And in targeting you, our aim is to provide you with a content of information that will definitely help you to attain the competitive edge in business and the competitive edge in life. So I encourage you to settle in and be prepared to enjoy another broadcast of the competitive edge. Now, we are broadcasting across multiple social media all across the world. So I encourage you that if you have a friend who is in business and you believe that this information can serve them, I do encourage you to give them a call and tell them that the competitive edge is on. Also, if you have someone that wants to achieve more in life, whether it be socially or financially, I encourage you also to reach out to those folks and have them join today's broadcast. Today with me in studio is no other than Paul and White House, Peter Scott, and the great Shivani. Now, what I will ask each party is to do in the event that you're joining us for the first time, I will ask everyone to give a short introduction and then we'll take a break and come back. Today, we are looking at a pretty exciting subject. We're looking at the face of leadership and management. And what we will attempt to do is to perhaps use textbook formula to give definition of what leadership and management is and also develop our own concepts in terms of what leadership and management is. What we know is that if you want to be successful in business and life, you need to be able to deploy both leadership and management skill sets to realize success. With that being said, I'm going to start with Paul Whitehouse. Paul, please tell the audience about yourself. So, in the event that they're looking at you for the first time, they now have a better understanding about Paul.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Gary. My name is Paul Whitehouse, and one of the owners of Patriot Business Finance Consultants. I'm a father. I have a grandson, and a family man. And what Patriot can do for you is provide literally every form of financing that your business would need, from factoring or purchase order financing to equipment financing, real estate financing, and we can help through our partners raise capital for you in a manner that's compliant with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Typically, and I just got news yesterday, 10 million and up was their 10 million is their minimum. We have a new program, 500,000 to $2 million. We can help you raise capital for existing companies with good financials. So that would be me in a nutshell right now.
All right, thanks for that share, Paul.
Yep.
So, again, if what Paul is saying that if you're in the U.S. across 50 states and you need access to capital, he is one of the our go-to persons to talk to. So, access to capital is should not be a challenge. So, I do encourage you to reach out to us in the event that you need access to capital to grow and scale your business. I'm going to come now to Shivani. Shivani is a project management practitioner, and it's always a pleasure having Shivani. Shivani, do introduce yourself so in the event that people are seeing you for the first time, they now know who is Shivani.
Hi, Gary. Thanks for always having me here. Shivani Sinrain is my name. Project management is my specialty. I believe CEOs, everyone, what you should have is a project manager. A project manager is the individual that will tie in everything together and also not only look at projects from beginning to end, but the sustainability of projects, which is really, 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 really very important. So project management can really give you all the tools. That's why I'm
All right, thanks for that share, Shivani. And I do agree with Shivani 101%. I mean, project management is relevant to every aspect of your life. All right, just think about it. So if you don't know enough about project management, again, reach out to Shivani, reach out to us, and we would be so happy to give you a crash course in what is project management. So I now come to Paul, the man that is dressed in the blue, and I can see that Shivani and Peter is definitely doing some color coordinations, and that's beautiful. So Peter, all to you.
Yes, good morning, audience. Guys, it's a beauty to be on the program with you again this morning. All right, so as Gary introduced, my name is Peter Richard Guscott Sr., formerly Scott. There's a long story behind the shift of my name. My mother decided to leave off the GU, and so when I realized that we have changed back my name to what it originally is. But the story behind what I do, my focus really, even on this show, is to empower pastors, ministry leaders, career professionals, and the people who wish to turn their professionalism into entrepreneurship. And so we do that by a program that we offer by the name of Legacy Chronicles. It's a publishing program that we empower individuals to transform their life story, their expertise, their experience into books, courses that can now be placed in seminars, conferences. We have a formula that we call the CAP formula, where we have discovered that every individual who is successful, there is a basic premise upon which they stand. They stand as a consultant, they stand as a coach, they stand as authors, publishers, and public speakers. And that we believe is the formula for success in the marketplace. Wherever you are, if we can trace it back to that formula. And so our focus is also to empower individuals how to do that by designing a master plan, a personal life master plan, a family life master plan, a community life master
Mm.
plan, and a corporate master plan. And when we can design and work at that, bring that into premise, when we are able to stand on that, we are able to now begin to navigate our lives to the success that everybody's looking for.
All right, thanks for that share, Peter. Now, for those who, again, may be joining us for the first time and have no idea who I am, my name is Gary Thompson, and I represent two businesses out of the US. One is Pitch Deck 101 LLC, and the second is 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. From the Caribbean, I also represent Global Capital Inc. And what these businesses do collectively, they work with you to ensure that you have data before you start a business. Having data is so important. So they help you with the market research, and they enable you to use market intelligence to make informed and educated business decision. And you need to be able to put yourself in that position as trying to make informed and educated decision throughout the entire ecosystem of doing business. Along with this, we also work with you to help you to understand financial instruments, access capital, leverage capital the smart way, and last but not least, mitigate debt. We say if you're buying debt and you don't know how to mitigate debt, you're not just leaving the crumbs on the table. Perhaps you're leaving half of your entire pie on the table. And that represents the importance of understanding debt mitigation. Now, with that being said, we're going to take a short commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be doing a deep dive into the face of leadership and management. So I do ask you to stay tuned, use this time to call a friend. Remember, if you have never subscribed to us on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, do subscribe so you will be the first to be notified when we go live.
Summit. Are you a rising star in business academia, public speaking, sports, law, medicine, or an influencer? Becoming a best-selling author can open doors to connect with top figures in various fields. Discover how the Bestseller Portal team can assist you. 1. Assisting clients in the creation, refinement, design, and publication of their books, biographies, and autobiographies. 2. Strategizing and executing promotional campaigns while navigating global markets and linguistic diversity to enhance the visibility of your literary works. 3. Nurturing our clients' transformation into esteemed public speakers and influential thought leaders. 4. Elevating your books into dynamic digital learning content. 5. Cultivating multiple streams of income from your literary works and beyond. Enroll today for the prestigious Bestseller Portal Annual Summit and position yourself as an eminent authority and trailblazer within your chosen sphere. With 10X Branding and Marketing LLC. Our expert team specializes in enhancing your brand's visibility and connecting you with your ideal clients. We employ strategies that increase reach, leaving a lasting impact and driving client conversion. Trust and credibility are vital in businesses and excel in building them even with a limited budget. Our cost-effective approaches ensure you get the best results without overspending. Ready to boost your business cash flow? Contact us at 332-235-T99 and let 10X Branding and Marketing LLC guide you to success. Our focus is on elevating your visibility, which directly translates to growth. Experience the power of effective branding and marketing with us and witness your business thrive.
Okay, welcome back to the competitive edge. And as promised, today we are going to be doing a deep dive into the face of leadership and management. While there's a lot of information documented on management, I think that based on how management is rolled out, I think that most people have a more uniform approach in terms of understanding and relating to management. In terms of leadership, one of the things that I would always say is that there are 100 shades of gray, and there may be 100 shades of leadership. To begin today's discussion, I want to present from some of the research that we would have done. And I want to begin by attempting to put a face to leadership and management by looking at what I call definitions of leadership styles. Now, one of the leadership styles that we have learned over many years is the leadership style referred to as democratic leaders. Now, what is a democratic leader? To put a face to that, you can visualize people like the Nelson Mandela, Tim Cook. Tim Cook is the CEO for Apple, and Larry Page. Larry Page is the founder of Google. And these are famous democratic leaders. And you also have what is known as autocratic leaders. To relate to autocratic leaders, to put a face to this, you can see people like Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs is the co-founder and CEO of Apple Inc. So these are personalities that you can research to really get a better understanding of the type of leadership that we're talking about. Along with this, you have leaders that is referred to as the laissez-faire leaders. And laissez-faire leaders are more like the Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett is the chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, which is a major investment company in the US. And he used what is known as the laissez-faire approach in terms of leadership. Another name that comes up here is also Steve Jobs. And Steve Jobs, again, is the co-founder of Apple Inc. Now, if you recognize so far, I've called Steve Jobs' names under two types of leadership. He's under the autocratic leadership style, and he's under what is known as a laissez-faire leadership style. I'm not going to go into it today, but it's just to say that some leaders may adopt more than one leadership style. Why? Because you have multiple personality types that you're interfacing with in terms of managing your institution. The last leadership style that I'm going to look at today is what is known as the paternalistic leadership style. Now, to put a face to paternalistic leadership style, we can look at persons like Jack Ma, and Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba. Alibaba is similar to Amazon, but only Alibaba is now in China. And you have another paternalistic leader, and you may find Henry Ford of Ford Motor Company who falls into this category. So, what is seen here clear is that all of these personalities that I've just mentioned, they're famous personalities, and they all adopt and apply certain leadership style. And those leadership style is incorporated throughout their organization, is what they use to manage the organization. Now, what I'm going to attempt to do here today, and I'm going to give my personal um, research, interpretation, and data that we have been using for many years in terms of leadership. As I said, very often when it comes to putting a definition to leadership, if you have 10 persons in the room or 10 different room and you ask each one of them to give a face to leadership, you're gonna get 10 different shades of what leadership is supposed to be. And in our context, my role is to define it and to show clear systems that we are using in terms of dealing with that concept of leadership. Now, I'm going to begin now to look at a definition of leadership. Now, leadership is like a research journalist who is prepared to use orthodox and unorthodox means to expose and bring down a ring of child sex traffickers. So let me just go back at this as an example. It's a metaphor that we're using to explain a definition of leadership. Leadership is like a research journalist who is prepared to use orthodox and unorthodox means to expose and bring down a ring of sex traffickers. Now, let me go into this just a little bit more in this context. Leadership is the effective deployment of tools, processes, and systems before, during, and after collecting sensitive data, analyzing sensitive data, and by adopting marketing sensitive approach to response to sensitive data aimed at influencing targeted results. Now, just let me take some time to unlock what I've said here. Leadership is the deployment of tools and processes and systems, meaning that as a leader, the tools and processes and systems that you are called upon to deploy, at one time it may be marketing, at one time it may be project management, at one time it may be debt mitigation, at one time it may be whatever it is. Your role is to find the right tools to deploy to achieve a given end results. Now, the tools, as we said, should be used before, during, and after collecting of data. So a leader, you have to use the right tools before you start a process. You have to use the right tools during the process, and you have to use the right tools after the process. And you're using tools, one, to collect data, to analyze data, and to respond to data in a market sensitive way. Why? Because you want to influence targeted outcome. Leadership is all about the end game. The end game is all about the results. Now, there's a couple of things that I want to also add to this. Most people, again, they struggle with finding a clear definition of leadership, equally so as finding a definition for management processes and how these two ecosystems can and should be applied to achieve desired outcome across multiple platforms. For example, you want to be able to apply leadership and management for personal development. You want to be able to apply this for business and financial process progress. You want to be able to use leadership and management in politics and economics. You want to be able to use these tools in family and social infrastructures. Yes, leadership is leadership and management is management. Two different spectrum. However, it should not be about leadership versus management. What it should be about how we are able to bring leadership and management into harmony to impact human, social, economic transformation. In advancing the conversation here as we put a face to leadership, I want to say this. Leadership is first about preparation and self determination. Leadership is first about preparation and self determination. But what the face of this looks like, I'm just going to expand here a little bit and then I'm going to pull back and open up the floor for others to make their presentation. What does the face of leadership, in terms of leadership being first preparation and self determination? The face of this should look like one, self awareness and having a strong sense of self and self awareness, a sense of purpose and self management, a sense of direction and empathy. My focus as I go deeper into today's program is just to expand on this. But of course, I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to give what is their interpretation of leadership and management based on their research, based on their practice, and based on their general understanding. So I now open up the floor for anyone else to give their face to what they perceive to be leadership and management. The floor is now open, my friends.
You said everything that I was going to say word for word. That's exactly what I would have said.
Great minds do take the like, right?
I would just agree with you that leaders are unique. They are determined, self-aware. That's so good. Self-aware, willing to adjust, willing to change, collecting information to make the decisions, to put systems in place to guide the organization. The leader, I think leaders are purpose-built machines. Like, I think of that of several things. I think a purpose-built machine is a race car, a firearm built to do one thing. Now, we're people, so of course a leader has other interests in their life, but as far as in their leading their business, they're built for that purpose. And we spoke with Bakari on Saturday, and that
A
really
great
changed.
man. A great man. He's a
Yeah,
great leader, man. Great leader.
yeah. Well, that gave me a new perception. That made me think of something this morning, and that is that, boy, not everybody can be a leader. Like he said, there's got to be the queen bee in the hive, and there has to be the workers. There has to be people moving running the forklifts. They don't want to be leaders. They're leaders in their life, but not in their business. So, yeah, a leader is definitely a purpose-built machine. And you stole my thunder because what you said is what I was going to say.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Thanks for that share, Paul. All right. Peter or Shivani?
So, in terms of leadership and management, it's a conversation we've been having since a little while now, right? And it's such an
We are
interesting,
not the first. We are not
yeah,
the first. This has been going on for decades.
decades, right? But us, and we have,
Yeah,
all these different viewpoints.
yeah,
So, I mean, I'm being very careful how I say this, right? Because there'll be a lot of different persons watching the show.
yeah,
From my experience that I have seen, and it's my opinion, right? This is my opinion. A manager can do the status quo very, 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 very well. They are trained to handle processes. That's your mindset, your mantra is to be able to manage the processes. And I'm using the word management, to be able to manage the processes where they can plan very, very good organizational planning. Something goes wrong, crisis happens, they cannot handle the situation. So, my interpretation always, in terms of leadership and management, a leader is someone that can allow the team to pivot into a new direction if need be. Because in a situation like that, the manager will simply try to get back the same status quo and will not use the opportunity to see, hey, something new can evolve that could really be better. A leader is someone can do that. That is what I have seen so far. Um, in terms of project management, definitely project management versus project leadership. These are two different terms. And now you would see it more and more. We are evolving into studies of leadership, not only management. So you'll hear it as leadership, strat leadership. And there's a lot of different academia really, and curriculum for project leadership, which is really, really needed. And as we continue the conversation, I'll share different leadership styles. But before Paul, jumps in, I know the take is, just to sum it up, management versus leadership. There two different points, and I believe it is. A manager is someone that I've always seen they can be very, 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 very good. But in terms of not leading, planning, and organizing, they may be very good at spreadsheets. They are very good at some of the tactical work, right? And they will obviously have a very good idea over the years of their subject matter, whatever they are managing, and they would be able to do it. But in terms of leadership, they cannot unless they are trained. And training is a big part for me in everything that people do. They cannot pivot into new directions if need be. That's my 3 cents, not 2 cents, 3 cents.
okay. Shivani, I do believe that you're making very valid points, because, throughout, we can say our experience, we have seen that persons are thrust into management position, but they could be stuck in that management position because of exactly what you're saying. They are not prepared and ready to deal with crisis. A leader on the other side, from the get-go, and their mindset is about identifying the problem and using the orthodox and unorthodox approaches to achieve the end results that you're looking for. So I do believe that those are valid points that you're making. And I do believe that when we can see the importance of bringing great leaders and great managers together, is where the magic takes place. Because based on everything that you're saying, you're a manager, but you're not dealing with crisis well. But now you have the leader in the room. The leader is going to say to you, hey, you got a crisis? I love crisis. Let's deal with it because I don't understand crisis management. So it's the bringing of these two skill sets together that's where the magic takes place. So I love your share. So I love come to Peter.
Yeah. The premise of leadership and management, and which is really which, or which can be applied to what. Yeah, we do agree that has been the conversation of the ages. But my approach to understanding or to put a face to either of them is quite simple in the terms that has leadership ask one question. Leadership will ask, where am I going? You know, that's the challenge for every leader. Where am I going? And the challenge for the manager is, how do I get there? So sometimes the leader, he knows the end result, as Gary mentioned earlier. He knows exactly where we're going. And like Chivane would say, that he's able to pivot because he knows where we're going. The manager is always now looking at the means the team. So as Gary is saying, there has to be a correlation between the leader and the manager, because the leader, depending on the nature of his organization, he doesn't have the time and the energy to look at all the integral pieces, while the manager's responsibility is to gather those integral pieces that is going to make the whole. But the manager, because he's the one looking down, he's not necessarily seeing where he's going. His job is to manage all the integral pieces that puts the whole operation together. But the leader now is the person who will always say, no, okay, even though these pieces are here, they looks all pretty looking good right here, but it we have to shift to keep in alignment with another concept of leadership: vision, mission, and purpose. Leadership, vision, mission, and purpose. So that is the face that I would present to this conversation. That leadership has to do with where we're going, why we're getting there, and the outcomes, what we want when we do get there, while the manager is now organizing all the pieces that goes on with how we're going to get to the end result.
Okay, so l- great perspectives, and I think you've also made some great points. Leadership is about vision, and I do believe, yes, all the leaders need to have a clear picture in terms of where they are going, where they are leading the collective, and there should be the mission behind that, the objective behind going exactly where you're going. So I think those were some great points. What I will attempt to do here again also is to expand on some of what I would have said early on. Leadership is first about preparation and self determination. And again, what I will attempt to do is to put a face to, what preparation and self determination looks like. Um, I think, first of all, is you preparing yourself as a leader. And to prepare yourself as a leader, for me, it begins with finding yourself. We have many leaders lead and without having that true sense of self, and that means you're unhinged, you're unanchored. You want to find yourself, you want to embrace your true sense of self, you want to shine in your authentic personality, you want to be comfortable at home with yourself. And I'm going to bring this to actually say that it's about mastering your sense of self and self awareness. Now, we have talked about this a few times on this program, what it takes to master yourself and self awareness. And I call this the first level of emotional intelligence. All right, the ability to deal with yourself, to be comfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are, embracing who you are, shining in your elements is what I call the first level of emotional intelligence. But to really become anchored in yourself, What I've seen is that there are some barriers to that. And I say barrier from an academic standpoint. They look at the concept that you call the self-image theory. Again, I'm not going to go deep into this. I'm just doing a high-level overview. Um, as we look at the self-image theory, a leader has to battle with things like, are they flowing from their ideal self? Are they flowing from the looking glass self? Are they flowing from the self-image? Or are they the full embodiment of the real self? And I think all leaders, if you're not truly anchored in what is the real self, what is the definition of your real self, um, you can be unanchored, you can be unstable as a leader. Having that clear understanding of the real self, it was really helps you to be anchored, strong leader. I will not go deeper into it today. In another program, we will definitely expand on that. There's a second point that I want to make. Um, and as I attempt to put a face to preparation and self determination, to be prepared to lead, to be able to self determine, you want to bring yourself to that point also where you're able to master your sense of purpose. And Peter hinted on purpose early on, is to master your sense of purpose and self management. Now, there's two concepts that I see here. To find purpose and to manage self, two things I'm looking at here is what I call the two levels of accountability factors. One, to find purpose is to be accountable to yourself, and two is to be accountable to others. And this is what I also call the second level of emotional intelligence. And I will attempt to just expand on this just a little bit. Accountability to self, when you're flowing in purpose, it means that you understand your value offer. And this is what I call mastering the highest level of commitment to your value offer, to your MVO. Let's take, for example, Shivani in her essence of self, Shivani in living in purpose. She is a project management practitioner. She's an expert in that field. This could be what she is seeing as her purpose. But guess what? As you build up purpose, you have an accountability to yourself. You have to commit time, talent, and resources day in and day out to master your craft. And that's what Shivani has done. That's what Peter has done. That's what Paul has done. You have commit years into refining your craft in order to flow in purpose. But guess what else? As you commit the time, talent, and resources to flow in purpose, that purpose has to be aligned to people. And that's why I said there's two levels of accountability here. All right. As you build purpose, the purpose has to be aligned to people. And to get along well with people, you need to have the emotional intelligent equation that is playing out on both sides. Again, I will not go deep into it. And today is just to give a high level overview. So purpose, there's two spectrums to it. You have to be accountable to yourself, where you're committing day in and day out to refine your talent and be the best version of yourself, and to ensure that that purpose, that skill sets, that knowledge set that you have is relevant to helping people to achieve the things that they're going after in life. That's how purpose is fulfilled. The third aspect of this that I want to look at is what I call mastering your sense of direction and empathy. And this is what I call the third level of emotional intelligence. And let me attempt to expand on this. I do believe that mastering a sense of direction, and Peter hinted on this early on, it simply means that you have the ability to master that ability to think ahead. To have a sense of direction, it means that you're thinking ahead. But to put a face to thinking ahead, what exactly does it mean? Perhaps it might mean that you have clear targeted performance outcome. And thinking ahead, you're thinking ahead about how you want to impact the human resources, internal to the organization, external to the organization. You want to look at the need for technical resources to help you to achieve the objective. And this is where Paul comes in. A great leader, as you master that sense of direction, you're also thinking about capital resources. Do I have capital resources? Do I have access to the much needed capital to achieve my leadership outcome? So a great leader represents all of this. All right, mastering your sense of direction. It's not saying that you just have a sense of direction and there's no action behind that. So thinking ahead is the first element of this. The second part that I'm going to be talking about here is master the ability to see beyond problems. Because very often, we sit as a people, as a community, and we can think ahead, but then sometimes we see the problems. I don't know financial experts, so I don't know where to turn to. I don't know project management experts, so I don't know where to turn to, and I become stuck in the problem zone. So, in thinking, in mastering the sense of direction, you want to bring yourself to that point also where you're able to see, master the ability to see beyond problems. And what is the face of this looking like? The ability to see beyond problems means a few things to me. It means that you understand how to work emotional intelligence, because you need to be able to work emotional intelligence to get along with people. You need to be able to, the second point I'm going to make, you need to become a people and relationship master. Now, why am I saying this? Because the key to seeing beyond problems, the key to getting beyond problems, can be unlocked when you have the right relationships with the right people. Most people go through challenges in life because they simply don't have the right relationships with the right people. And in our context, when we talk about mastering your sense of direction, relationship plays a very pivotal role in that. The last point I'm going to make now before opening up is what I call mastering the ability to take informed action. And this also is a new term that we have developed. It is well documented in one of my books. It's not just taking action, it's bringing yourself to that point where you're able to master the ability to take informed action. Now, what is informed action? And I'm going to give four examples. It is deploying relationship mastery game plan. And I will go deeper into this. You want to build relationships with people. Great leaders, this is something that they have that most people don't have: relationship with the right people. Right here, right now, you have some great leaders. You have a project, you don't have to worry about your project being successful because you have a project management expert. You have Shivani. That is relationship that you need. Perhaps Shivani is going to help you to have a panoramic view and an all-round view of the project because she has the expertise to help you to master your sense of direction. You want to go in a particular direction, but do you have the tools and the keys and the relationships to get you there? So the ability to take informed action is you saying to yourself, I don't know, but Shivani knows. And Shivani is one of my go-to person to get me there. I don't know, but Paul knows. And Paul is going to be my go-to person to get me over the financial challenges. So I have relationship with these people. If I have relationship with these people, I don't have a problem. I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Peter because Peter is going to help me with my personal life master plan, my family life master plan, my community life master plan, my corporate life master plan. And Paul is going to fund it, and Shivani is going to help me guide that whole process forward. So, three more things I'm going to quickly say. To be able to master your sense of direction, to master the ability to take informed action, I want to say this. There's a concept that we talk about: enlighten, enlist the support of mentors. You don't not get a mentor. You have Shivani, you have Peter, you have Paul. Enlist the support of mentors. They can, if you don't know how to take informed action, get these experts. Enlist the support of coaches. You need to have multiple coaches on your side. Even me in my field as a professional, I'm not a brain surgeon, so I'm not a medical practitioner. But guess what? We have relationship with these folks. Enlist the support of a sponsor. Now, a sponsor, they're going to be there next to you. They're going to help you to achieve the objective. Now, I want to say this, right? Because, you know, very often, what is said is that the people that have connection at the highest level, they are more successful. And very often, when we talk about people that have connection at the highest level are more successful, we talk about it in with scorn. All right. But what I want to say, you have the ability to elevate your relationship skills and your connection skills, even at the toppest level. Or you have the ability to elevate your social skills at various levels that can work to your advantage. So I don't want to say hate the game and I don't want to say hate the player. Leadership is about doing what needs to be done to achieve the objective. I see Paul is smiling, so I don't know what he got up his sleeve.
Yeah,
I know when he's
I
smiling, he
wanted
got something funny up his sleeve. Go ahead, Paul, Peter.
yeah, the because what you're saying is it's like nail on the armor on the head of the nail completely, because even as we think about the various dimensions, and this is my approach to it, right? That life has dimensions, and how does one gain promotion in the corporate field, in the world um, of commerce, how do we get promotions, and where life is concerned, how do we get promotions, and what are the various, there is basically four dimensions to life, four basic dimensions to life. And when we understand how we navigate these four dimensions, is what the face of leadership act like. Paul mentioned it earlier that it's not that everybody can't be a leader in the sense of the corporate level, but how do we get there? How does one advance to become a leader at any dimension? It is first of all to understand what the dimensions are. So there is four basic dimensions to life. There is the personal dimension, and you mentioned it. You went through it eloquently a while ago, Gary. There is the personal dimension, and everybody ought to be a leader at the personal level. The personal level has to do with your life. If you can't, and this is where the world is in problems, because um, individuals have not figured out what is my mission and what is my purpose in life. And if we don't figure that out, then more likely we are on the part of the problem. This is why the world is in chaos, because people has not figured out what is my purpose in life. The problem is you have individuals who have not figured out what their personal mission and purpose is in life, but they have been promoted to the other dimensions of life. So what are the other dimensions of life now? The other dimensions of life now is the family dimension. And family has to do with the collective, that close network of individuals that you live with on a day by day basis. Uh, so you may not have, somebody will say that they are not married, but you have some people that you are relating with. You may not live with your mother, your father, but whoever it is, even if it's a company of friends that you're living with, that you depend on for your existence, that becomes family. So, in order for us now to do well at the family level, it means that some skills at the personal level, you will have to navigate those, and you're doing well there, and you are able to navigate now at the family level. But then again, as I'm saying, if we do not pass the personal level of how to manage my personal life, then I'm going to have problems at the family level. Then it moves on now to the third dimension of life, which is the community level. Collectives of families now operating together on a wider scale. And then you have the fourth level, which is the corporate level, where there are agreements. And what is the corporate dimension? The corporate dimensions is where bodies, legal agreements are designed by which entities are formulated, corporate entities, where there are businesses, where there are legal structures. So that's the corporate dimension. Now, when we understand the very basic personal leadership as to where am I going, what is the mission and purpose of my life, and we have got that into the place where we're beginning to move in that direction, then what naturally is going to happen, somebody is going to recognize those skill sets, and they will say, I would like to follow this individual. Why? Because he is successfully going in a direction that I think I need to go in that direction as well. And that is where all the other levels are formulated. When we discover our purpose in life and we're going there, automatically people are going to want to join us in that mission to get to the kind of success that we're looking for. So, in a sense, I believe, Gary, strike on, that's what the face of leadership is.
Wow. Um, Peter, you've made a very strong point. I mean, to the average person, when they hear the four dimension of life, it sounds taboo, but there's a lot of substance to what you're saying there. I think that when we as an individual can see ourselves in those four dimensions, our personal self, our family self, how we relate to the community, and how we relate to the corporate environment, it helps us to have this holistic panoramic view of who we are. And let me tell you what happened. This is how deep what you're saying really is. Sometimes we focus too much on the self, and because we focus too much on the self, we are best apply ourselves in the corporate world. But guess what happens? Family suffers. Family suffers. And, I'm very deep on family, and I do believe that family give us a chance to extend our legacy, to extend who we are. And when there's not that, family life master plan incorporated into who we are, um, there could be challenges there. And it hurts the kids, it hurts the family, when there's not that master plan, really working it to ensure that there's balance between who you are, family, community, and your corporate life. So there's a lot of depth to that. As time progresses, we're going to examine that some more, Peter, to really help the public to get a much clearer understanding in terms of what you mean when you mention the four dimensions of life and how leadership and management applies to that. So I love that. Great points. Now I'm open up to Shivani and Paul. I'd love to have your thoughts on this. And I want to say this just before Shivani or Paul comes in. None of this could be done, or let me put it this way: developing your leadership skills and management processes, developing your personal life, your master plan. This is what I want to say. You can achieve more with a project management specialist on your side. I'm going to repeat this. You can achieve more with a project management specialist on your side. And here's where Shivani comes in, because she's going to see through and through that project, and she's going to see strengths and weaknesses, and she's going to help you navigate that process. Shivani, Paul. Go ahead, Shivani.
So thanks, Gary. When we're speaking about leadership, full in agreement with Peter, Gary, and yourself, Paul. What we have to first understand is self, because you can't lead anybody if you don't really understand yourself. Now, understanding yourself will determine a lot of times your leadership style. How are we going to really lead people? What is our style of leadership? Of course, I will always say there's no one best style, right? There's no one best style. Every situation is different, and we need to understand that. We can't say, okay, this is the best way to lead people all the time, have conversations, or affiliate leadership. We don't have one best style. Now, once you start thinking there's one best style, you're going to have some issues and some
Yeah,
challenges right
yeah,
there.
you're
So
correct.
it's
You're
all
correct.
about situational. Everything is situational. And, culture, um, Caribbean culture, how things are being done, probably how it's maybe done differently by you. So persons may say that one style might fit everything, and I will always disagree with that. I will say no, that cannot be. I will look at the situation. I'll also look at culture. I'll look at where I am and who I am leading also, right? As we started the conversation last week on this topic, really, which is you need to seek to understand first. Otherwise, this is not going to work. You have to seek to understand. So it's all about understanding self and being very, very, very confident in self. And I know you'll have conversations on that as well. Peter was talking a lot about that, being self-confident in your mastery plan, because you don't want, as a leader, you don't want one aspect of life to fail, right? So it's a balance that you have to create. And when you understand self and you see a holistic view, so it's project management for life as well. That's why I'll always preach. You you need to have the entire balance. So it's holistic. It's not only saying I'm coming to the corporate office, I'm going to run a project, and that's all that I'm about. No,
Yep.
really like that, right? So you have to
Hmm.
find balance, and when you find balance, it's really you will find you need to find yourself first, and then you could find balance. I'd always tell people. Of course, it sounds nice when we speak in it, but in reality, all of us will know it's difficult to find
It
balance between
is.
professional and
It is.
personal life. So I don't want to
It
tell
is.
anyone that it's a book to do it. No, you have to find your way. Your way. Your way will be different from my way. And when you look at my way, you say, well, what's wrong with Shivani? And then when I look at your way, I'll say, well, what's wrong with Gary? But it working for you and it working for me, right? Situations are different. So we started the talk on different styles of leadership and what are the styles of leadership. So I just want to bring up two, which I see is so relevant. And I know Peter would love this one because he has been speaking about it all the time, which is visionary leadership. And as a project manager, that's the style that we want. We want to be able to develop what is the vision for the project, whether it's a project or whether it's for life. What is the vision that you want? Do you understand the purpose? Purpose driven, as you said, purpose driven. And I saw someone on LinkedIn just was agreeing with the point as well, which was, so it means that persons are really, really, really interested in this topic. Purpose driven life and purpose driven projects, we will call it as well. So, visionary is all about that. Are you a visionary leader? Persons love to call themselves visionary leaders, but you don't really understand what a vision is. A vision
Hmm. Hmm.
is not just telling people what to do. You're not saying this is the vision, because you could tell me this is the vision and I will not follow you. But sell me the vision properly and I'll follow you.
Sell
Sell
me
me,
the.
sell
I
me the
like
and
sell me the. I
as,
love that.
and as a project manager, that's what you need to do. You need
Mm.
to sell. And I came out of a project management meeting last week, and I mean, they may want to fire me because I'm saying you all are not selling the vision. You are not selling the vision to me, and I can't be in this thing if I don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, people that I'm working with will not understand it at all.
Understand that.
Leading. So tell me the vision, right? Don't tell me, sell me the vision, which got a lot to do with the benefits. Now, a big point we speak in project management, which is a life story throughout, benefits management plan, benefits realization plan. And it's a it's something that I preach all the time. Do you know what the benefits are? Are you selling me the benefits or are you just telling me something? Remember, when you sell me, I want to buy. So if you sell it to me, I'll buy it from you, right? If I believe in it, which is all purpose. So you just can't tell me, Shabani, drink this coffee. No, I wouldn't drink the coffee. You have to tell me why I want to drink the coffee. So it's leadership. And this style, visionary, is a very, very important aspect. I've again been in meetings and there's no vision. When there's no vision, you're not tying in. the entire project into the organization and strategic thinking plan. So you just talking something and you're talking it in silo. People just talking something in silo. So we want
Mm-hmm.
to develop a visionary style of leadership. That's one of my main points. Another style of leadership that I want to speak about is the affiliate. You know, where especially as a project manager, you don't know everything, right? We are not subject matter experts in the field, but as a leader, and you started the convo as well with this, you need to be able to bring everybody together. It's a
Mm-hmm.
harmonious team. So
Mm-hmm.
I may not know something, Paul doesn't know it, Peter doesn't know it, yourself don't know it, but all of us may know something. And it's up to me now as the leader to really see what are your strengths and bring it that we could all cohesively add together. You know, there's a saying where you need what we said it a couple of weeks ago on the show, which is you need to have a village to raise a child, right? A
Well,
village
yes,
to raise a
yes,
child.
a village. You're correct. You know.
But it's more, it's also you need a union gives you strength, you know. Somebody
Mm-hmm.
said that at a point. When you form this union, you get strength. So it's no longer just me talking. I'm talking, if I'm talking something, Paul is saying the same thing, and then you have Peter and you have yourself, so you get better union like that and you get more strength. So it's collaboration. And you know everybody will have their part of the pie, so to speak. You know, you will have a piece of the pie, everybody got it, and we know now this is what we can contribute to. So leaders, and I mean, there are so many different habits and different styles that I have seen have worked and I've seen don't work. And what I want to evolve into as you do research and you build different leadership styles for projects and beyond. So two points before I know somebody else get into the convo, which is visionary style of leadership and also this affiliate style.
Well, Siobhan, you never cease to amaze me. You know, and I love those different leadership style that you brought in, and as time progresses, we will definitely be expanding on them. And you see, this is what I like about the conversation that we're having and how it can really help the community to get a competitive edge. Because this is what happens sometimes when you bring a concept to the table, you bring the concept in part. And as Shivani would have said, you tell me what you're doing, but you don't sell me on the idea. And what that does, it leaves the room open for the person who's listening to you to speculate, to guess. And even in the case of a student who is learning from you, if they're not getting the whole picture, they're not going to be as effective as you want them to be in applying. The same thing applies to a work situation. The ability to communicate the information clearly is going to be very essential in getting the buy-in and how people respond to your style of leadership. So there's so much to go into there, Shivani, and we will definitely be expanding on these concepts over the days and weeks ahead. Now, Paul is the guy, tremendous talent, um, great mind behind finance, a humanitarian also. But Paul, I would love to hear your take and your views on all that was said. You're mute, Paul.
Thank you, Gary. I've gained a
Well,
lot just listening to you guys. Okay, here's the thoughts that have come to my mind. Now, a great leader characteristics, we've talked about this, is determination, self-determination, self-confidence, empathy. You have to be a great speaker. You have to be, and you have to have the ability to communicate, and you have to have the ability to ask for it. Whatever it is you want, you have to ask for it. Now, you said something that really sparked my mind, Gary. Contacts and connections. Without, you need it. You need it. It's better to have 100 incredible contacts than a $1 million cash prize delivered to your door right now, this second. Because 100 incredible contacts will turn into tens of millions of dollars if you do it the right way. But those contacts and those connections, they cannot be worked with the right way or leveraged if they don't like you. If you don't have the ability to, if you don't have emotional intelligence, you need to be sensitive to what they're doing. You need to be respectful. You need to be absorb the information and, understand how everybody can benefit from the relationship that you have. So emotional intelligence is and I mean, that's my story. I didn't grow up planning to be a leader. I didn't grow up planning not to be a leader. I was just growing up, becoming who I have become. And everything that we do, every job experience, every thing that happens to us, what I would love to say to a young person is take it in, note it, and observe it, and just know it. Because things happened to me that I didn't know were happening, and they all formed the right thing, which was, I was a shy kid. A job at a grocery store brought me out of my shell, right? I didn't know how to ask girls for dates, but girls are at grocery stores, so that really opened up my personality. Plus, helping people with what they needed at the grocery store, going with the nice little old lady to show her where the help her carry her milk out or whatever. The police department opened me up to a whole new set of things that I had to do, responsibilities. Moving into business with my friend Nasser, I wouldn't have went into business without one of my best friends, rest in peace, Nasser Hamad. He told me and showed me, and we did it. And that experience that I gained from him formed neural pathways in my brain that let me know this is possible. Everything that I did let me know that this is possible. Car sales, that opened up the door for everything. I think everybody should sell cars for a couple of months just to get that crazy, weird experience. You might love it, you might hate it, but if you don't have confidence and if you don't know how to ask for the sale, do that and you will gain from it. You will gain so much because negotiating in sales transfers directly to negotiating in life. Ask for what you want, negotiate. I mean, you know what you want, right? So it all comes together as you grow and mature. Everybody's life experiences, everything that you've done, it's going to be packed into that 20, 30, 35, 40, however many years you are, it's packed into there. Recognize it, take advantage of it, improve every skill that you have to be a great leader. That's how great leaders are formed, is all of their experiences come together. And then a very important part of that, in my opinion, is to accept your role. Like know it when you become a subject matter expert, understand that, know it, and say, I know this information, and you'll be able to turn it into a business, turn it into your leadership style. But everything that we do, we become in the end. Take advantage of it, recognize it, and then improve it every day. I think that's what good leaders do.
Wow. Um, that was some great points that you've made, Paul. And we say so much in these short period of time that we have to cut out elements of them and really blow them up over a period of time. Um, because you talk about network and collaboration, community support groups. We have studied this for many, many years. And one of the things that we have seen is that the average person out there, they set goals that they want to achieve, and they uh, make commitment to go and achieve them. But when you take everything that we are saying here into consideration, the pathway to embrace success could be very tiresome for the majority of people. And here is where information can make such a big difference. You see, with the right relationship, your journey and your pathway to success don't have to be that tiresome. So we have built out also very unique programs that really helps you to understand shorter pathways to come into your success. In fact, in this community that you're witnessing right now is a community that can significantly reduce the time that you're going to be spending to get success. Let's take, for example, you have a business. I am aware of businesses that struggle for 10 and 20 years to raise the capital that they need to move their vision forward. But guess what? In our community, you don't have that struggle. Because Paul will say to you, if you don't have the right FICO score, guess what? We're going to work with you to ensure that you get it. And we're going to put some icing on the cake by ensuring that you get your paydex score too. And then we're going to get you the money. And these are things that we can do in a very short period of time, within days, within hours, or within weeks, or within months, depending on where you are. But the fact is, all right, the fact is, 6 months or a year wouldn't pass and you don't get access to money, depending on where you are. All right, with your financial, with your FICO score and your financial records, we can get you there fast. And that is exactly what we're talking about, Paul, with the right community. You have Shivani, again, and you may not know all the right processes in project management, but she's going to be the one to say, hey, this is the project, and this is how we're going to anchor this project down to ensure that you achieve your completion criteria within time, within budget, and maintaining the integrity of the project. The right community is going to get you there faster. So I'm saying this to you. Start investing in building the right communities, the right support groups, get the right mentor and coach and sponsors. You can take the time and you can build it out by yourself because it's going to be a pathway to achieve your dreams and hopes and aspiration in a short period of time. Now, if you don't want to do this on yourself, which can take some time, I'm encouraging you to reach out to us. All right, inbox us, and we'll be happy to help you. Again, our skill sets. We before you leap, we're gonna say, look before you leap. So in business, that's what you want to practice. That's good leadership. You want to ensure that you understand your market. You want to be certain that your market is viable. And how do you know market viability? You want to be certain that you can reach your ideal client. You want to be certain that your ideal client has the ability and the willingness to pay for your products and services. And all these things is looking before you leap. Some people leap and, then look. And then you waste your monies and you go into stress and, all manner of things happen. When you position yourself to learn, apply, and master your competitive edge, is how you take all of this information and you work it to your advantage. Sometimes it may take some time for you to digest it and then go out applying it. You can, if you need help with mentorship, coaching, and additional support, we are here to give you that type of support. Um, but I really, really love what everyone would have said. So I want to now ask everyone to, is there a question that, is there something else that you want to say that you didn't say that I want to give you the chance to say it on the point of leadership and management? And then we're going to start to prepare to wrap up the program. Is there anything that you'd want to say and that you didn't say? Please take this time and say it. Perhaps you may want to talk to your audience about the importance of project management. You may want to talk some more about finance or master planning. Please take the opportunity to do so now.
So, Gary, thanks for that.
Welcome.
In terms of project management and leadership, I will always say that you could create your wonderful project reputation, and it's not only from a project management point. It's not only from a project management point, but generally in life, you can take 20 years to build this reputation that persons would know, and it may just take about 5 minutes to pull it down. So, that's a saying that we have out there.
It
I
happens all the time.
Happens all the
That's
time.
right. Yeah.
So, as project management practitioners, this is something that we must always keep at the back of our minds, because it's all about integrity, right? And it's all about the code of ethics as for project managers, for a project leader. How do you lead your people? How do you lead projects? You may have stayed so many years and build your perfect reputation, and just 5 minutes. That's it. So, this is something that I believe in totally, right? You have to evolve, you have to see, but always remember that it's a holistic view in terms of leading your project. So that's just something I wanted to add.
Wow. So you could apply all the techniques, and you can, achieve the objective. But because integrity wasn't a part of the process, you lose everything in
Mhm.
5 seconds. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
The issue,
definitely
I
food.
think,
Go ahead, Shivani. Go ahead, Peter.
yeah, and Shivani, what you said a while ago, is so pivotal in professionals, in what we're doing as we go through life. Um, and so one of the questions that we ask is, how will I be remembered after I'm gone? How will I be remembered? Be remembered. We're gonna be remembered for something. What that is what it really is. And so we constantly have to develop, and this is why master planning is important, because you're going to create a vision of what it is we're doing and how we're going to do it, and the correlation where relate where this conversation is bringing to the table, the relationship between leadership and management. Because it's one thing to know where we're going, but knowing where you're going will not get you there. Just knowing where I'm going will not get me there. There has to be a strategy, there has to be some systems put in place that is going to take us to that where we're going on a day by day basis, and that is management. It now means management of time, management of resources, management of relationships. And even while, as you're saying, Gary, about building communities, because most of the time, the leader, the person who has the vision, knowing where he's going, he might not necessarily know how he's going to get there. Even in our personal lives, we know that we want to achieve what we want to achieve in life, but that doesn't necessarily means we know how we're going to get there. And this is why a lot of people have big ideals, big dreams that are never realized, because they do not know how to break down those big ideals, as where Shivani would her skill sets into management of life as a project. So it is very important for us to know the relationship that leadership and management, it's a delicate balance there has that has to be had for us to make those achievements. For us, at the end of the day, we can look back, and as I started out by saying, the question is, how will I be remembered after we're gone? It's legacy. We're talking about legacy issues here, and we're not here to stay. All of us are on our way out. It's just a matter of when. So we want to be responsible to ensure that no matter what it is, and even for that person who have, made the boo boo, who have done something that they are now regretting, well, you're still alive. There's still a chance that you can correct those matters. You can turn those situations around. And at the end of the day, you can look back, because which person there is who have not done some things in their lives that they regret and they are sorry about. But it's all about, at the end of the day, when we come to an end of the journey of where we're going, when we have come to the end of that journey as to where we are going, we can look back, and all the highs and the lows and the ups and the downs, overall, we can look back and we feel a sense of accomplishment, that we have done that which we were designed to do at the end.
Well, Peter, great. Living on purpose. You're doing what you were designed to do. It's called living on purpose. I want to recap on something that Paul would have said early on. And Paul said, and leaders must be able to speak. And that is so profound, all right? Um, because it's from our speaking skills, you're able to connect with people and inspire and positive public response. And there is an art and there is a process to be able to speak. So that's so profound. I'm mentioning this because we also have the book, Master the Sales Communication Process. So when you go to the bestseller portal and you go to products, on your right hand side, you will see, on your left hand, you will see a drop down of menus. If you press on ebooks or business, all of those books will come up. You have 7 volumes of the Master the Sales Communication Process. And what it does, it speaks to some of the issue that Paul was just talking about. You learn about what is communication processes. All right. What is the sender? What is a message? What is encoding the message? What is noise in communication and how to decode and feedback? It goes into a range of different things that, as a skilled communicator, you need to understand. Not only understand, but you need to apply. So this is why I keep saying every time my team speak, I know we only drop some nuggets, but there's so much of depth to everything that is being talked about. Again, we cannot bring all the information at this platform. As time progresses, we're going to be hosting a number of master classes, business summits, to really help business leaders, rising stars in business, to learn, apply, and master these concepts that we are talking about. Peter, on the point of leadership, I want to say this, and this is going to coincide with what some of what Shivani is saying. Um, Leaders, to me, leader is a giant in the room. The leader is the one that's going to say, "Listen to me. I'm going to cut the mountain down. I'm going to dig a hole through the mountain. I'm going to pave a new road. But listen to me. We have a clear mental vision, picture of where we want to go, and I'm going to figure things out along the way. They're going to use data, but they're going to put the shoulder to the wall and they're going to say, listen, this is a fight. All right. This is a fight to the end. And we ain't stopping. As a Les Brown word, the game ain't done until we win. It ain't done until we win. Caribbean language there, right? Okay. So that ties in, I believe, a whole lot to Shivani. You need to have that muscle, that giant that say, hey, we may not know it all. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to research, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to feel some pain. But at the end of the day, we're going to achieve the objective. And we're going to talk about this some more because I think, in terms of building strong businesses, I think in the absence of having that type of leadership mindset, Shivani talks a lot about mindset and leadership mindset. In the absence of having that, the vision can go under. It can go under. We'll also talk about embracing pain because part of leadership is not without pain. You're going to feel some pain. It's a part of growth, but are you strong enough to deal with it? You know. So there's so much for us to talk about, my friends. I want to thank each and every one of you from the depth of my heart for taking the time out to come and share with people across the world. I mean, you guys could have been doing anything else, but you have made a decision to come and serve in your respective capacities, in your respective skill sets. And I personally want to say kudos and hats off to all of you guys. With that being said, I'm going to ask you guys to give your closing remarks. I'm going to start with Peter, and then I'm going to have the lady close us out today, because I know Shivani is going to also drop us some additional gems. So, Peter, Paul, Shivani.
So what as we went through this entire discourse, what I do encourage individuals to do, how do you mitigate some of those issues that Shivani said earlier about building a reputation and in 5 minutes it is, destroyed? How do we minimize those kinds of situations? We have to have a master plan, because if we're just going through life day by day, just living off, whatever happened, just dealing with things as we, kind of like default, living life by default, we're going to run into issues that we didn't plan for. But we minimize those kind of scenarios when we have a master plan. We take a look back from where we're coming from. We look at our lives from where we are coming. Well, first of all, you want to have a vision of where you're going, and you have a sense of purpose. And vision is that sense of understanding that I was sent into life on a mission. We didn't just come here just so. Uh, we were sent here on a mission. And what is that mission? Now, to discover what that mission is, a lot of times it is hidden in our life circumstances, situation, the experiences of our past. And if we can go back into our past and dig deep into our life experiences, even our professional expertise, our training, we can discover, okay, there are certain patterns that we can discover when we look back into our past. And based upon those patterns, now we can set a projection for the future. And that is what basically what a personal life master plan looks like. It is that long-term vision of where you're going. And this is not just 5 years now. You're talking about the next 10, 20, 40 years of your life. When we're talking about master life planning, we're talking about attending your own funeral and listening to what people are saying while you're in the box. And then you come back into the present and you decide what you want people to be saying about you. And you begin to live that on a daily basis to force people to say those things about you. And you want to repeat that at the family level by having a family life master plan. And then you want to expand that at the community level, where you now attract similar thoughts, similar people, similar relationships. And now you can build a collective similar to what you're seeing here on the competitive edge. And then you design the corporate structures or the agreements upon which you are going to design those end results and how we relate with each other on in a relational level on a day by day basis. So that is how we do that. And it is a simple document. And we what here at Legacy Chronicles, the Legacy Chronicles program, we assist people to build their personal life master plan through a system, a 50 question system. We call it 50 questions that will transform your life. And it's just answering those questions. It's to do a life audit, just to do a life audit, asking yourself the right question. And the number one question that you're going to ask, well, two questions that you're going to ask yourself over and over in order to develop these master plans that we're talking about. The number one question, you want to look at yourself from the outside in. So treat yourself as if you are another person questioning yourself. And the best way to do that is just to go and stand before the mirror. And you look yourself eye to eye in the mirror. And you ask yourself this question: who are you? And you become tough with that individual. Treat them as if you are your own coach. Treat them as if you are you are that person who is going to pull them and drag them into doing the right thing. You look yourself eye to eye and you ask yourself the question, who the WHELL, whatever that is, who are you? You get tough with that person because you need to get them to answer you. And some of the times, for you to get that answer, now you have to go into your quiet space where you turn off the television, you turn off the phone, you turn off everything around you. You get into that meditative space and then you ask yourself that question. Put on some quiet music. If you're Christian, you could put on some worship music If you're just, a person, you put on some relaxing music, classical music, whatever that is going to cause you just to relax. And then you ask yourself the question, who am I? Those two questions will form the basis of everything that you ever desire, dream, aspire for. And not only that, but it's going to also put on a road that is going to start to attract the kind of people and the circumstances that are necessary for you to accomplish what it is that you were designed to accomplish. That, in essence, is the face of leadership and management working hand to hand.
All right, Peter, thanks for that share. All right, I'm going to come to Paul. And Paul, as you elaborate on your points, can you also talk to us a little bit about some of your financial instruments? So those who are, may need to use your products, they have some idea in terms of what you do. So you can take some time and just expand on your thoughts
Okay.
of today and finance. Go ahead,
Yeah,
my friend.
I'll be real quick on this because everything I've learned today has come to a really one point for me. But as far as what I could do for clients, equipment financing, best of credit to very difficult credit deals. Don't worry, you are approved. Difficult credit, we will get it done. We'll put you on the road to recovery. Paydex increases, personal credit score increases. You are golden in 2 or 3 years. Make the payments. Real estate financing, got it. Factoring, purchase order financing, raising capital for projects. That's and patriotbfc.com. It's a website. Paul at patriotbfc.com if you'd like to get a hold of me. Well, I tell you what I've taken from today is this. Okay, leaders choose to work with other leaders because they recognize the traits and qualities. Just like if you go to buy a car and the salesman is highly inexperienced, now you might work with them. You probably will because you're nice and you'll understand that level of inexperience. That's the lower level because you got another manager coming in and making the deal everything perfect. If you have a real estate agent, that's a big transaction. You're not going to want to work. You should want to work with somebody brand new as long as they can do the job and they've got a mentor or their broker right behind them. There's nothing working with somebody brand new. I'm not saying that there is. And I think you should to help people advance because they need that experience. But you're not going to want to work with a brand new attorney. You want to work with somebody who can confidently look at you and say, we got this. Here's why we've got this. Look what they did to you. They skipped this step. If you are, pick a field. You know you want to work with an expert. You know that you do. It's just you do. Okay. Now, when a leader, then that's the reason you want to take on these characteristics and become that leader if you're going into business and if you're in life, obviously in life too, because business translates right to life. It's part of it, cannot be separated. But if you're going to go into business, you really want to, like I said earlier, assume your role, know your role, accept the role, become better at it every single day. Because if your business is going to advance and get bigger and better, well, you're going to want you want to attract other leaders. You want people to say yes to what you're proposing, what you're selling, what your service or your product is. Here's an example of it. When people come to me for business financing, they expect me to be an expert and they expect me to be a leader and they expect me to be able to ask things on their behalf. So when we work on deals for clients, we assume the role. We are the leaders. We know the products, and we use that to our advantage to provide better service, lower cost of money, and approval where approvals where people have been declined before once or twice and they come to us and they're like, you're our last shot. I don't know if you can even get it done. And we get it done for them. That's because we worked our leads. We know how to pull it together. There might be one extra step you have to do, an extra 10% of effort to give, one more phone call to make to ask one of our lender reps, what if you do it this way? Or what if I provide this information? That's a leader, is taking advantage of every opportunity and knowing every bit of information so that you can do that. So that's what I would just encourage everybody to become that person through work, through study, through effort, through self-determination. Become that person, because you're going to attract other like-minded leaders. You want them to want to work with you. If you can get 100 other strong leaders to want to work with you, what do you think your business is going to turn into? It's going to be good.
Wow, that was great, Paul and Peter Shivani. Oh my God, I really do the same thing again, Peter. I almost forgot Shivani. Shivani, the lady in blue, the lady in the moment. Shivani, why are you always doing this to Shivani?
No, no, no.
Shivani,
I know what you're doing. I figure it out already. I'll figure it out.
I know you're going to choke me, right?
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah. So I'll
All
be
right,
brief, right? I'll be brief.
no,
Um,
take your time. Take your time. I want you to really help the public to understand, your passion. Make this you do your thing.
so I would say one of the true tests of leadership is the ability to recognize a problem before it becomes an emergency. And this is something in projects we got to do much, much more of. We got to be able to recognize when something is going wrong and try to solve it before we have a crisis. I always have a joke that there are a couple managers that they call themselves crisis managers, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not good at handling the crisis. They are good at creating the crisis, but that's of course something else.
Not cutting you, Shivani. In project management, there is such a thing as crisis management. In
Yes.
financial management too. Go ahead, all to you.
So that's what I wanted to really make persons understand, that once you understand project management and project leadership, you have to look at this thing as a whole. You have to look at what really is the problem and try to solve it. It's excellent problem solving skills that we must have. That's what project management can be for us, solving challenges. That's one of my projects that I'm working on right now with a team of persons. It's called an innovation and design thinking project, actually, where we are trying to instill in persons from young a problem solving mindset. Problem solving mindset.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Shivani. Great points. I do believe as we go at any project, and pause a little bit and ask yourself, how does crisis management comes into play? How does risk management comes into play? Can definitely give you an opportunity to have the competitive edge, because it means that you're thinking ahead, you're seeing beyond problems, and you're prepared to take the kind of action that you need to take to achieve the desired results. Now, in closing, there's a lot that I'd want to say today on this topic, so I'm just going to quickly go through some of the points that I'd want to make. Um, what does the face of preparation and self-determination looks like? And Shivani used the word early on, and she talked about habits. We're going to go deep into habits tomorrow. And the face of preparation and self-determination to me means that you must master the right daily habits around what? Everything we talk about today. We talk about a whole lot today. All right. And what you want to do, and being prepared for life and being prepared for business and being able to self determine is master the right habits around the essential things that we spoke about today. Some other things that I want you to focus on is master a strong sense of self. This is about you. Leadership, it begins with you. You want to commit every single day of your life to master your sense of self. Next, you want to master your sense of purpose. Find purpose, live from purpose. Get your master plan. Your master plan is what's going to help you to live from purpose. Master a strong sense of direction. Know where you're going, why, and how to get there. These are things that you can master. And believe me, you're going to achieve so much more out of life when you know these things. Master and enhance quality of life. This is what happened. These are the benefits. When you commit to doing these things that we are talking about, you're going to definitely have a better quality of life. And the last one that I want to make here is you're going to be able to master quality relationship. Focus a lot on relationships too. All right. It helps you to achieve the goal faster. I'm going to say this: don't hate the game and don't hate the player. Don't hate the game and don't hate the player. All right. Um, Now, I want to say this: keep following us. And very soon we will be talking about a few business summits um, that you can be a part of, and how you can benefit from these platforms. I know you're getting a lot of benefits here, but I can assure you that we are just scratching the surface here in terms of information that can literally transform your business and transform your life. We are scratching the surface, all right? When we go into those master classes, when we go into those business summits, you're going to be getting so much more step by step approaches to realize your objective. So, viewers from across the world, I want to thank you for taking the time out to being with us today and to being listening to Shivani, Paul, and Peter and myself as we present nuggets on ways in which you can attain your competitive edge in business and in life. We will be doing this again tomorrow, and tomorrow we want to do a deep dive into habits. So if you want to learn more how to unlock the right habits that can serve you and help you attain your competitive edge in business and in life, I encourage you to join us tomorrow, same time at 6 a.m. EST. All right. In the new year, we have some plans because we want to bring this program multiple times throughout the day. But we have a lot of work to do here now to educate you and ensure that we're helping you to achieve that objective. So, again, follow us, call a friend, tell a friend that we're on when we're on. So, you will be getting a lot of nuggets. With that being said, again, I want to thank my team for being here today, and I look forward to having another exciting day with you guys tomorrow. And this program is my coffee in the morning. It's my coffee in the morning.